Jeffrey Epstein's, Bill Gates, fake vaccines.
Just everything.
Like,
all the transgender
we're not there
bull.
yet, guys. So, all I'm saying, I want to identify as a man. I want to lift heavy weights. I want to buy guns. I want to protect my family. And I want to give good dick.
Righty then.
Ah.
Ah. Ooh.
Ooh.
La la.
La la.
La la.
Ooh.
Ooh.
La la. Hey, it's the beginning of the show. Yeah, here we go. Please don't cancel us. Yeah, no, cause she's a hoe. I'm just a guy. Look at me in the green shirt. Gonna talk about why Donald Trump should rule Earth. Yeah. He the GOAT. Here we go. It's time for the show. Yeah. Okay.
Can you turn on the lights, please, behind you?
Oh, right. Hi. Oh, fuck, that would have been more freakadicious.
Freakadicious.
Funkalicious. Dickalicious.
Dickalicious.
So what would you like to jump into today? What did we talk about last time? The fact that Disney, is it Disney Channel or just Disney?
Just Disney.
Disney's racist AF. Also, we got age restricted.
Flage restricted.
I was going to say flagged, but we got
Flage restricted.
We got age restrictado.
Restrictado.
Age restrictado. And it's because in the first 15 minutes or 10 minutes of the show, we started with some controversial things.
What did we start with? Oh yeah, we can't mention that right now.
Well, that's exactly what got us.
Can you write it down for me?
Huh? UKRAINE.
Oh yes.
So avoid that for the first 5 or 10 minutes, if you don't mind.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They're basically Nazis.
Yep.
But anyway, getting into the show. What would you like to talk about? Tell me something. I'm sick, so... She's going to have to be... That's how I cough. She's going to have to be doing most of the talking.
That's crazy.
Let's go.
Well, is there anything new in the news that no.
War.
War.
We did that.
We did that.
We finished it.
Transgender. We did that.
We did that. We finished that. We accomplished it. We figured it out, guys. Transgender.
What else?
I mean, yesterday we were talking about the definition of what a man is.
Yes. Well.
Because, what's his name? What is a woman? Matt Walsh. Got it.
Walsh.
Smarter than you.
I said Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg's new documentary.
By accident. I was like, oh no.
What is a woman? Well, let me tell you, I can't do a Mark Wahlberg at all. Yeah, so what is a man? What is a man?
Something or someone with a penis.
Okay, but if I'm a girl and I just steal some guy's penis in the town center, right? I just sneak up behind him and pop it off.
That's not how that works. What is that shaking noise? Do that again?
I think it's him.
It's you. You're like a Christmas jingle.
It's my bionic elbow.
Do you not know what it is?
What is this mysterious noise? This is quality.
Is it in your pocket?
This is quality content right here.
Well, no. Well, a man is someone that doesn't have a phone case like yours.
Okay, listen. I've been involved with pretty important business people lately, as of late.
Yes.
The big deals, the best deals. We had the tremendous deals. It's going to be outrageously amazing. It's going to be the best thing that you've ever seen. And the problem is that I walked into some of these meetings with this, and I found myself having to hide my phone.
Yeah.
Because it just felt a bit inappropriate. So now I think I don't know.
That's a very expensive case, so.
But getting back to it, like, if I put a penis on me, am I a man?
You have a penis. So you, well, I mean, you could, but then you'd have two penises.
No, if I was a woman and I put a penis on me.
Then you might as well say it the other way around. If I was, well, I am a woman. If I am a woman.
Sorry, you're peeking the mic.
Sorry. If I put a penis on me, does that make me a man?
Well, what if a trans woman puts a penis back on herself? Then is she a trans man? Or is she just going back, like factory reset?
My brain can't compute that one.
No? Okay.
No, that one's difficult.
That's like going to the Apple store and being like, could you please restart this Mac? If you don't laugh at my jokes, then I'm just mean. I tried. It's funny. I think maybe I should get one of those like Friends laugh tracks in the background.
And then you just see me, cricket, cricket. What is a man? What is a man?
I asked you.
Well, it depends. It's a bit late now.
I know, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah. But what do you mean? What defines like a male or a man?
I already have a problem with this because we have a long form show, and the thing is that if I engage with the nonsense that you said, that's the problem. That's the problem with all of this woke shit is like, are you talking about a male or are you talking about a man? And then it's like 5th grade English class. We're all talking about synonyms and pronouns and adjectives and and I don't want to do that.
Okay, so fine. Well,
give me very specific criteria to operate within.
Listen. A man has to be a male in my eyes. Yes?
Okay, be careful. Tread carefully.
Carefully. For
Wait. Thank you. Anyway, so blacks, huh? Just keep going.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, a manly man. Are we talking about masculinity? That's a difficult question. A man for me is
No, we're not. No.
Then what?
Nobody cares about what you describe or define a man as, because that's a personal opinion.
I don't know then. I don't
In
know.
order to start this conversation,
yes,
give me very specific criteria as to what a man is or what a male is, and then we can proceed.
A male or a man is someone with a penis that produces sperm.
So then, if technology gets to the point where they can make you come, like sperm jaculent, then any woman could just.
Is an X and an Y.
Now we're talking. Now we're finally getting somewhere.
That's it.
So we're gonna go down to the chromosomal level.
Yes.
X and Y equals, it's math.
Men. X and X equal woman.
Woman. Okay. Now we can proceed.
Y and Y.
Now,
Nobody knows.
there's a difference between a male, the sex of a male, the XY.
Feeling the testicles.
This is how you tell if it's a man or not. That's our manly dog. This is how.
Marvel.
He thinks somebody's at the door, but there's nobody at the door. Marvel. Oh, there is somebody at the door. Great.
Oh.
We're being interrupted. Okay, so here's the thing. If we're talking about the sex of a male,
Yes.
right? There's a difference between being categoristically a man, right? So if we define what is a man, I think that there's different arguments for this. So there's a man in modern day society, there's a man in primal culture, and there's tomorrow's man, the man of the future, right? Wait. Thank you. So the thing is, let's specifically go through these, right? The man of today.
It's a man of today.
The man of today
is Harry Styles.
What do you think the man of today is?
Yeah, but
or should we start from the beginning? What is the man of yesterday?
Yesterday, or what do you mean?
The past. What was a man? Primally. What is a man primally?
Man.
Presently, futurally. Testicles. Tell me.
Or boobs. So, these are big testicles if you're grabbing them like this.
Yeah, because this is past, present, and then future. They shrink every time.
Okay, so a man in society's eyes in yesterday.
No, your eyes.
My eyes.
Stop peeking the fucking mic. Your eyes.
My eyes.
Thank you.
A provider. Why are you looking at me like that?
Okay.
A man is someone who provides for their tribe. Well, at the time, for their tribe, for their family, for.
Are you listening? All the things that a provider provider next.
Provider.
Okay.
Protector.
All right.
Penis.
Provider. The 3 P's of being a man. Those are the 3 P's of provider, protector, penis. That's it.
I think that sums it up.
And we're done. So moving on.
What do you think of my conclusion? It's pretty accurate, don't you think?
It's pretty accurate. I do think that because we're talking about being primal, it was a pretty primal description of a man. Provider, protector, penis.
Yes.
I think that a man from yesterday was a fearsome force to be reckoned with. A violently, aggressively protective, yet loving,
Providing.
sympathetic person. I think a man was... I think there's different tiers of men as well. There's like the top tier, which is like the Khan or the Khal or whatever it is, like the leader, right? The king, the tribesman, like that guy, the guy that leads the group.
The Khan.
Yeah, that's a different name for it, bitch.
Okay, where did you get this name?
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, no.
Khal Drogo.
It's funny because you do this. You like say something and you're not sure about it, but you just keep going so that it sounds sophisticated.
You can Google it. I know what I'm saying. I'm not sure about it, but I know it's real. Anyway, that is the man. That's the goat. That's the guy, right?
Yes.
And then you have other men, but they're in a different tier, right? So like, I think that you have very few men. Like, let's talk about males. Within the male sector, there are, let's say, 5% men, and then maybe 40% like second tier men, so on and so forth, right? And then that also includes different classes, like nowadays alphas, betas, omegas, whatever the fuck it is, right? And I think a lot of people mix up what it is to be a man. And I think a true man back in the day was the leader. It was the alpha.
Of what though? Because if you have back in the day, you have families and there's men in those families. Are they then not men? If they're not the leader?
They're just a different class of men, of man. So like you can be like, for example, look, take a kickboxing coach. That's like 90 kilos, very good at what he does, but he's kind of short and he's like manly, like he's
90
aggressive.
kilos is still a lot for a short person.
And he's aggressive, you know what I mean? Like you would think, oh, he's got a lot of manly traits, which he does. But the thing is that if you look at 120, 130 kilo, 6'5" man that just is a bit more regal and leads shit, that is the man. So there's different classes of men, so on and so forth, right? And I don't think that should be ignored because the man of today doesn't need those primal attributes to provide or secure. You could be a great father and a great guy, you know, a great friend, a great brother. If you're providing for your family, you're making good money, you're securing everything, you're regal, calm, collected, you're possibly even a leader yourself, you could still be a guy. But I don't think you can be called a man. A man to me is, irregardless of what point of history you're looking at, It's a larger dude. I'm talking over 100 kilos. That is just manly. Like they look a bit like a fucking bear. They're
So do you
big,
not
strong,
do
fucking
you
meaty
class
hands.
yourself as a man then?
I class myself as like a second tier physique wise, because there's different categories.
Yeah, because
there's like
it's not all about your.
no, but there's
physique.
physique, there's personality, there's character, there's all these different things, right? So physique wise, I'm second tier, but like the rest of the attributes, I think are first tier. Like they're very dominant, they're very leading, they're very so on and so forth. But the thing is like. You could also have a giant like Eddie Hall or Hafthor Bjornsson. And to me, that's closer to the image of what I think a man looks like. It's more of like this rugged outdoor
But you think of like a Viking
character.
type person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think that men really exist anymore genetically. I think having a second tier physique like me is still quite rare. And having that A-tier physique is almost
But
extinct.
do you think they were all there? Like it was not like back in the day. It was all just A physiques.
No.
Like you were describing.
No, it wasn't all A physiques, but the population, the percentage of them was way higher. Because if you think about it, right, like cowboys in finding America, walking through the desert with a fucking horse and a gun and just shooting things, eating things, living off the land. That is a man. That's a real fucking man.
Yeah.
And nowadays, you get a little bit more manicured. You stay indoors. You know what I mean? Like, it's that sort of thing. And that's my argument here. Is I think that as society progresses, the requirement for a original man, the demand for it dies.
Yeah.
And once the demand for it dies, then genetically you kind of breed it out of society.
Yeah.
And I think that's why if you look at like the genetic breeding, especially in America, because it's like a cesspool for this shit, you get the manicured, emo-looking, skinny, scrawny
But
female.
here too, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I think it's just genetically being breeded out of existence. That's why I think like it's still quite impressive for me to be like that second tier.
Yeah, but I think it depends where you are. Because if you're in the cities, then yes, for sure. But if you go to South America, like not South America, but the south of the U.S., like the southern areas, then where it's a bit more like country living.
The demand for men
is higher
there.
But that's what I mean. So
I come from South Africa, and I know like giant Afrikaans men.
Yeah,
It's a
they're
man.
everywhere.
I also come from Eastern Serbia, like from Serbia, right?
Eastern
No,
Serbia.
I just come from Serbia, and the requirement for men there,
Yeah.
it's in these more up and coming societies where men are required. Like go to, not just South Africa, but just go anywhere in Africa. Giant fucking amazingly athletic black dudes running around.
Yeah.
Like
Both.
there's
And
Francis Ngannou is one of the best UFC fighters in history, and he says, from where I come from,
I'm nothing. Yeah.
that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
we live in the Netherlands, and there's no requirement for man here, for men.
So women
I think,
are taking that over.
well, I was
that
just about to
position
say,
over.
I think that's why in these more developed cities, this transgender thing is so prevalent, because we're genetically moving away from a man, and we're also genetically moving away from a woman. Like a woman, if you think about the old school idea, was this like 1950s housewife in a cute little sundress meeting you with cookies and whiskey, and like it was more feminine and it was more manly back then, right? It was like more old school. But nowadays, like the requirement for that is less and less.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just we are now. Yeah, I don't know if it's only just the requirement. It's yes, the requirement, but also because we are there's females that are like shitting on men now, like a lot. Like the pendulum is just swinging in the other direction with the whole feminist movement, and it's supposed to be about equality, but at the moment it's just too much. Like,
Well, here's the thing. Let's use an analogy, and that
Yeah.
analogy is the school's gym.
yeah,
Everybody picture an American school gym, right? Like wooden floors, basketball hoops. the typical American coach and the
Yeah.
short shorts with the little whistle and everything. Now let's imagine you got like 15 kids on one side and 15 kids on another side, and you guys are going to play dodgeball, right?
Yeah.
This is ingrained in us. If all the kids are lined up and you get 2 team leaders and they have to pick who they want in their group, they start with the strongest contenders first. I want Ashley because she's a fucking nightmare, and I want Jacob because he's fucking fast, and I want this, and you finally get down to the last 5 on each side. That's how that's a perfect little experiment, right? Like, you're trying to achieve a goal, you're trying to win at a game. Therefore, you pick the people that you think are best for the game.
Yeah.
The last people to get picked are the weakest of the bunch.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the reason I'm using this analogy is because in modern day society, you don't need to be good at dodgeball to win at dodgeball, because it's been created to be so fucking easy for anyone to play dodgeball. So in other words, imagine now playing dodgeball is digital and all you need to do is blink.
Yeah, but listen.
Then all of your skills go away. All of your requirements go
but
away.
it's
That's what I'm trying to say.
Physical skills, because we're not talking about mental skills. Because
No, but everything is physical.
yeah,
How you want to identify, how you present yourself. Are you fat, small, skinny, big, whatever the fuck. It's all about being included physically.
but it's almost like
Nobody's talking about mental inclusivity. Nobody's saying, hey, take Trisha, who's fucking ridiculously bipolar, and put her on your fucking...
no. But I'm
spelling
talking
bee.
about when it comes to making things, making things more accessible and easy for people, whereby the men are dying because of it.
What?
That
Oh, the population of men. Is
yeah,
decreasing.
you're saying, but the more like masculinity. That's what you're saying. Masculinity is dying, but you're saying because of there is no demand for physical strength,
No, but there's no demand
for manliness.
There's no demand for physical strength. There's no demand
But
for
it's
chivalry.
also-
There's
but
no demand for anything. So, for example, like this, right? You go to the gym and you lift weights. You're putting your body under constant stress and tension, and your body adapts by building bigger muscles to do more of that thing.
Yeah.
Now, this is also why certain black people have incredible physiques.
Yeah.
It's because of slavery,
And genetics.
but also slavery. Because of hundreds of years of being forced into hardcore labor, their bodies had to adapt. If you look at it right now, there's a new study that got released that I showed you last week that said that infants nowadays are being born without wisdom teeth.
Yeah.
Because scientists say that humans are currently undergoing a micro-evolution.
Evolution.
And the reason that they're not being born with wisdom teeth is because the foods that we consume are so soft that it's not putting any tension on your jaw. So humans' mouths are starting to get smaller and they're starting to be born without wisdom teeth. I think that if you did the same thing, and that's why you look at these other areas, where you put these people under stress, they would start to get bigger, taller, stronger, faster, because that's what's required from your environment. So that's why. If you go back 100 years or 1,000 years or 10,000 years, they were probably way more resilient because of the necessity. Like if you were a...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But you're only talking about physical attributes.
And mental. For example, being a man...
But you're talking about then mental perseverance. It's not to do with being smart or intelligent. Nothing like that.
Well, being smart and intelligent is now the new demand.
Exactly. But then that also doesn't explain all the masculinity going away, because yes, that is part of it, but it's also because women right now are taking over the roles of men, trying to
No, I don't think that they're trying to. I think a small percentage of woke liberal feminists are trying to take over something.
But not only that, we're now, there's like a movement now, right, for strong independent women, and fair enough, I agree with it totally.
No, but hold on, just on that point. There's a movement for strong, independent women, but it has a breaking point. That argument is not indefinite.
No, but can I please finish my point?
Let me just say this point. They want to be empowered and in charge of things until a war breaks out.
Yes, but that's not my point. Just listen, please. Alsjeblieft. But because of us women, like I said in the previous episode, because not me, I'm not included in this collection of women, saying that we can handle ourselves, we can all do it ourselves, we don't need a man, right? Well, yeah, partially I am, partially I'm not. Especially here in Amsterdam, it's very prevalent, for example. Therefore, the men take a back seat when it comes to things like that. That's why chivalry and things like that are dying, because women are saying no to it. They're like, no, I'll do it myself. I don't need you. So that's what I'm trying to say. It has nothing to do with war. Yes, that's part of it.
No, but I'm saying the reason women are doing that is because the thing that they're trying to do has become so easy that they can now do it. Whereas in the past, it was physically or mentally impossible
But
for them to do
that's
something.
for war or scavenging or hunting or all that
Lifting a
crap.
heavy couch.
Yeah.
If you create a bionic arm,
Yeah.
then the requirement for physical strength goes away.
Yeah.
And then there are going to be women that say, well, why would I need to call a man to come help me
Fair
with this
enough.
couch if I have this fucking bionic arm?
But it's also women not allowing it anymore. Like, it's almost like taboo to want to be a housewife. It's not allowed.
Yeah. But that's war on personal culture. Like,
Yeah.
you know, being a man in a masculine way is also under threat. It's under way more threat than being a woman.
No, but there you go. Both of it's being just the standard gender roles are under threat. That's basically what's happening.
They're very under threat.
So even me, I'm a very strong, independent woman. I don't necessarily need you, right, to live my life, right? I don't. I also train. I'm a strong woman. I you know, things like that. But I still like to be treated as a woman. As I like being the homemaker. I like being the quote unquote housewife. But I also like pursuing my own dreams. But I'm also happy if you build that together with your partner. Does that make sense? But that's almost not allowed because.
But why?
Because you have to be a successful, strong, independent
But
woman.
why can you not be both?
Exactly.
And
so
have
that's
the
what I'm
choice.
saying. So I'm saying I would love to be both. I would love to be a housewife and be your wifey and take
No, but
care
I'm
of
saying,
you
why
and
does society judge
be taken
you
care of.
for your choice to be a woman in that sense? Because isn't the whole argument here that you should be allowed to be what you want to be?
It's looked down on at the moment, right? For a woman to choose to be with a man who can provide for her, it's almost looked down. It's like
It is
looked down on.
yeah.
It's like, oh yuck, you can't like you're instantly a gold digger, and it depends how you do it, obviously, or what your actual intentions
why?
are. But then, is my mom a gold digger? No.
It has nothing to do with a gold digger. I think it's like this, right? 50 years ago, if you said that you were gay, you were being prosecuted.
Yeah.
They were trying to eradicate the gays. It seems like they're trying to eradicate straight people.
It's weird.
Like you get put down or insulted for expressing what it is you want. Like, if you want to be a housewife and do nothing except manage the house,
well, it's a lot of
and
work.
raise the kids. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
not a lot of work. I'm saying, why should you be? Because isn't it just reverse? What is it? It's not reverse racism, but isn't it just like reverse criticism?
Yeah, but I mean, and the thing is, like, nobody's talking about being able to want both.
Yeah, but I'm just so confused because you're fighting for inclusivity and then reprimanding people who want to be
live their own lives.
It's
do
just
their own thing.
Everybody should be allowed to do what they want to do. It's like, but I want to do this. Like,
But
no.
but the funny thing is, like, I can guarantee you, most women you speak to want to have a man that can take care of them.
Yeah, because we're still primal beings.
Yeah, like.
That's why most men.
Like, I like being independent. I like having my shit together, and I like being able to handle myself. I like that I'm a strong woman. So, like most men in the city, at least, I could handle. Not all, but you know, I like the fact that I can lift heavier weights than the majority of guys that walk into the gym here. But that doesn't mean. Like, I wouldn't want a man like that. I want a man that is stronger than me. I want a man that can handle, that can provide for me as well, at the same time as me wanting to provide for myself. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it makes perfect sense. But I'm just trying to understand the opposition.
Yeah.
And I'm also trying to say that, yeah, the requirements in history are changing. And I think that's why men and women are starting to like morph and merge into
Yeah,
a
it's weird.
singular thing.
It's weird. I even notice it, for example, when you offer to pay for my nails. Like, babe, I want you to look nice. Why you go get your nails done and then that's on me. And then if you let someone know that, like even a friend of mine, like two friends of mine actually, they're like, you shouldn't like let him do that, or like not in that way, but like you can pay for it yourself,
But
can't
what
you?
if this?
It's like
What if this
weird...
is just like growing pains, right?
Yeah, what is that?
Like, what if this is just the stepping stone or the pad or whatever it is? What if this is just the step that we need to take to becoming one alien race?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, because if you think about like everything that you describe as an alien is what we're
Turning into
moving towards.
we're kind of all morphing into this one coagulated color that speaks
Yeah.
one unified language,
Yeah.
that has one unified sex, that has one unified whatever. What if this is just like growing pains, and there's people that are holding on to the past, and there's people that are trying to get to the future, and there's a bunch of people confusing everyone?
But where do you stand then? Because you don't like the fact that masculinity
This is
dying.
where I stand. This is where I stand.
Marvel.
If where we're going is hyper technology, one race, one sex, green aliens with tiny mouths and no genitalia because we reproduce, whatever, I'm all for that. Really,
Why?
I'm all for that because I think that's where we need to go. Like, I think that we live in a 3-dimensional world, and I think that in order to get to the 4th-dimensional world or the 5th-dimensional world, we need to evolve. And I think evolution is something that has been happening, right?
Yeah.
And needs to continue to happen. And if we try to preserve the past, that's a sign that you're getting old. Your birthday was just like 2 days ago. And B, a sign that you're not progressive. So like here's my point. If that's where we're going, great, I vote for that. But at the same time, I'm not going to be there to see it. I'm not going to be there to see it. What I am going to be here to see, though, is the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I should
Yeah,
be
fair
allowed
enough. Yeah, fair enough.
to live my life the way I want to live my life. Now, I'm also allowed to vote for the future,
Yeah. I get what
but
you're
want
saying.
to enjoy the present. So if me enjoying the present means I want to lift weights, and I want to have a girly girl around me, and I want to preserve that old school shit,
Yeah.
fine. I'm not going to slow down the progression of whatever, but I should be allowed to take my ticket and say, I'm going to go to fucking Bahamas, and I'm just going to live my life.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say is like, okay, great. If this is the natural progression of history, fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like fighting against it. What I'm saying is if you want to fight for your right to be yourself, you should give me the right to do the same.
For the rights.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to die, and then I'm going to be gone. And then you guys can continue to do the shit that you want to do.
Yeah.
So just let me just let me do my thing. Like, I'm not hurting anyone.
No.
I'm not going on the podcast and saying, this is incorrect. I'm saying, okay, the way that people do it is crazy, and look at these weirdos, and why do they say this, and why do they think that, and wouldn't it be just faster or smarter if you did this? I'm not saying unequivocally, stop. Everybody
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
This is the golden age. We need to hold on to our roots.
Yeah.
Because how is that going to work? What, we're going to be hyper intelligent, advanced civilization, flying around space and inhabiting new planets, and there's going to be a gym on every spaceship?
Yes. That'd be cool.
It would be cool, but
Yeah, that would be very cool.
it would be inefficient.
But why?
Why what?
I don't know.
What do you think
I
about
feel
that?
like what I feel when I hear this, and maybe I am old, okay?
You are.
Fucking hell. And maybe I won't be around to see it, but like, I don't know. Like, I feel like us humans, we need passion, we need emotion, we need all of that.
Right now, though.
Yeah, but then what are we, robots? What's the point
No,
then?
we're right now, I think that we're growing pains.
Yeah, but what's the point?
I think as like...
If we're aliens,
if
what
you
is
look
the
at
point?
the timeline of evolution of humans, we're going through puberty.
Yeah, but then what's the point? Tell me, what's the point of us being aliens and inhabiting planets, and then what? And then what?
You sound very ignorant because
What do you mean?
here's the point. The point is what we are to our core are this little infestation that likes to evolve,
Yeah.
to survive. We're like bacteria that keeps evolving so that we can survive. And we are now living in a 3-dimensional world, right? Now just imagine it like this. Imagine a 2-dimensional world. You don't know that you're in a 2-dimensional world because you're viewing it in the 3rd dimension. And if you're living in the 3rd dimension, so on and so forth. So I think for us to evolve, we need to go down this path. And I think once we've achieved the goal of this path, and you enter that new state or that new dimension, then it'll make sense as to why you are there. Just like right now, it makes sense to be here. And it makes sense to hold on to old school values, and it also makes sense to try to be progressive, and everything kind of makes sense now. Probably didn't make sense to why we were coming here like 100 years ago. Or at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, or at the beginning of the Stone Age. Like, people were like, oh, well, I don't understand why we're doing this shit. It's the natural progression of life. I think it's necessary, and I think that's where we're going.
What in the end? That's still the question.
You don't know.
Nobody knows.
And if I told you the answer right now, like if Jesus came down and he was like, this is the answer, what, we're all just content? And we all just go to coffee shops and walk our dogs and that's it? We're just done now? Just finished? Cool.
It's so confusing.
I think the point of life and the point of this evolution is the progression.
Of what and for what?
Pursuit.
Why do we need pursuit of the universe?
Pursuit. That's
of
it.
happiness.
Just pursuit. You want to survive. You're a bacteria that needs to grow. Why does in The Last of Us, why do they want to infect more people? Aren't you happy? Don't you have enough people? and that's all I'm trying to say. And look, like in the argument that I'm presenting, there are people which are too far that want to be broccoli. It's too much. You're wrong. You fell off. You can't actually come back. You're done. And then there's other people that are going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to generalize people, but like there's other people that are sitting there like back in my day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, but still. We're leaning more towards the other side than we are to the one side.
The reason I lean more to the other side is because that's the current society that we're living in. And Corona was the best example of why I believe in my position that you should uphold masculinity, that you should promote masculinity or femininity, and that you should learn, teach, and understand where you come from. Because when Corona happened, they were still delivering food. There was still electricity and Wi-Fi. There was still hot water, right? Imagine if they stopped delivering food.
Yeah, babe.
Does anybody here know how to make a fire? Does anybody here have enough food to last more than 3 days? Water to last more than a day if they shut down the water? Does anybody know what to do? No. That's why I believe in my roots. Because I come from South Africa, where the requirement is higher, and Serbia, where the requirement is high as fuck for men.
Yeah.
Look at Russia, Ukraine. You don't want a bunch of machine gun Kellys with real machine guns. That's a nightmare. Blop, blop, you're done. Finished.
It's like in The Boys when they got their machine guns and it all went to shit.
You don't want that. You want when the monsters
Stefanos.
come to the village.
You want Stefanos?
You want a bunch of Stefanos with guns.
Yeah, that's my Marine
Or spears
cousin.
or swords or fucking fists or something. You want them. You will beg for them. You will pray for them. And that's why right now we need them. If we reach a point where galactic merging and travel. And like, if we reach a point of complete security, then it's fine. But we're not there. There is no such thing as complete security. I mean, a mildly aggressive flu shut down the world for 2 years.
Yeah, but listen, we think that could also be a different agenda.
Yeah, but irregardless of agenda, it shut down the world.
Yeah, but also because they shut it down.
Yeah, but they shut it down. There's no security. They pulled the rug out from underneath you, whether it was on purpose or it was a mistake.
You mean there was also no resistance from us to shut
nothing.
it down? So
there's nothing. So like, if you look at that and then you look at what I said, I just want to be me, live me, do me.
Yeah.
It's for that exact same reason. It's like you all make fun of the prepper because he's crazy and he's out of.
I don't think.
And then when Corona happens, then everybody's knocking at the prepper's door, and then he's the one laughing at you.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like, well, the reason I do combat training, and the reason that I train myself, and the reason why I go out to the bush, and the reason that I do these things, and the reason I prep, is because it could still happen. And when it happens, I'm alive. You're dead.
It's just so funny because I had this conversation with my uncle is visiting for this weekend. And he's from the US and he's a Republican, and my family used to always, look, well, how would you say, find him extreme.
Your family are conservatives.
Yes. So find him extreme and like, oh, he's going too far, and
they're conservative.
Yeah. Conservative.
They're scared. They're conservative.
I used to, be indoctrinated and thought the same thing. And I remember when I visited my friend in Florida, and she's also a Republican, and they actually had a little cabin filled with like prepper food, right? With like a whole storage with like packs of how do you call it?
Canned foods.
Yeah, well, it was just
water
like
reserves, sure.
really like for the Marines, like little.
Oh,
pack. Yeah.
MRIs.
And they had like a gun, a safe with lots of guns, and like, and I remember thinking, wow, okay, I thought it was funny and pretty cool. And I thought, how crazy, right? How crazy. And now we're in this situation, and my mindset about the whole situation has done a 180 flip, like completely. And I was saying this to my uncle. I was like, it's funny because I identify so much more with you and how you view things. And my whole mindset about it has changed completely, because it is kind of ignorant to think that we will live blissfully forever. Like, it's possible. It's possible for sure. And we have been for several years without any like real interruptions. But does it hurt? And does it actually make you crazy to think that there is a possibility that could turn?
I want to say something on that point.
'Cause
of interruptions. So let's put 3 scenarios, because there's more than 3, but let's put 3. And don't come at me. Right, left, middle. Right? So let's say that like Democrats or liberals are on the left. And in order to be on the left, your foundation has to be impenetrable. Because if you know that the foundation that you stand upon, the economy that you stand upon, the house, the standard of living, the food deliveries, everything is safe, never will be touched, you're good, then like Maslow's hierarchy, in your mind, you're at the tip of the spear. And you want to push the needle as far as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Then you get conservatives, right? Like your family, who think that the foundation they stand upon, the economy, so on and so forth, is solid.
Yeah. We're good.
Solid. It can crack.
Yeah.
And you have to be prepared in case it cracks.
Yeah.
But it's solid.
Yeah.
So let's be safe, okay? Yeah. Don't go outside yet because the wolves are there and it's going to be fine, right? And then the liberals are like, fucking what wolves, right? Then you got people on the right. Now, I know that this is crazy to say, but people on the right tend to be people from the East, right?
But then...
No, hold on. People who have come from dictatorships or communism, people who understand how frivolous this bullshit foundation is. They're standing on a foundation going, this shit isn't fucking real.
No.
This shit isn't fucking real. And I think that's where the argument comes from. Because if you know that the foundation that you stand upon is soluble, it can fall away at any point, you are a prepper. you are a conspiracy theorist. You are a worst case scenario type of person. You don't take giant leaps of faith because you know how easily the system can fall, right?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say that a lot of the arguments happening here are people saying, why would you question the foundation? Right? And I think that's what we need for our economy to survive. Like if you look at COVID, right? It's done. It's finished now. And people went straight back to things. They went straight back to life because I think the only way that this economy keeps trucking along is if people believe it's not going anywhere. I think that's also why people are in denial of World War III possibly happening, because they're like, it's so safe that nothing can ever come in. And then you got other people that are like, yo, stop. Because this can go bad real fast. Because they understand how meaningless that foundation is, right? And the thing is, like, if COVID happened to logical, sensible people, right? And we were all one organism, we would take so much money into research, prevention, security, safety. What if this happens again? Put it there, right?
Yeah.
We would also start prepping. All of us would start prepping in case something like that happened again. Not only would we do that, but we'd create securities and blah, blah, blah. But none of that. We did none of that. We're just straight back to work.
But it's also to do with the media. It's like...
But now you're talking about the media. Okay, what's the media? The media is the loud voice that shouts at all these groups, but they have an agenda.
No.
It's all propaganda, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is if you look at those three groups and why they argue with each other so much and why they're all at different levels on the spectrum, it's like, well, people on the right tend to be more core valued, man, woman, protect yourself, protect your family.
Yeah, but it doesn't always mean that. Because
I need my guns.
Because of what I wanted to tell you is like, my dad is a right-wing type person. He's a conservative. But then when it comes to things like Corona and the war and things like that, he's on the other side. Does that make sense? So it's
yeah,
like,
he's a human being. He's allowed to have opinions.
Yeah.
But the thing
like,
is, check this out, right? So 1, 2, 3. I don't know if everybody can see that. Can you see 3? Let's say this is the right. I think this is the right, middle and left. So if you're saying that your dad is conservative, but he leans right, and then some issues he comes left, that's fine.
Exactly.
But he's consistently existing around this foundation of security and safety.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's impossible for his brain to comprehend that it could just all go to shit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying you get people that come from Russia, Estonia, Poland, Serbia. You get people that come from the East. They're like, dude, guys, you don't know what we just escaped.
Yeah.
It is so fake. And then they come to the East. They come to the Western world, like America, where everybody is just so fucking safe. And they're like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And I want to be a guy. And I want to compete in male sports. It's like, how important is that issue if World War III actually breaks out?
Yeah, it's not. It's disposable.
And I think that brings us full circle, because if we are evolving, fine. But in order to evolve, we need complete safety.
Yeah.
Complete and utter universal safety. The second there's any doubt.
I love that that's like a spaceship as well.
I thank you for noticing my hard work. The second there's any doubt, the whole fucking thing falls apart. Because you get people that if they see like integrity, right? Trust. If you talk to somebody and they lie to you once, you now know they have the capability to lie. So you do not trust them fully.
No.
You have to trust the system fully.
But we don't. Who does?
Some people do. And I think some people trust it because of the fear of unlocking your mind to the other possibilities or unlocking your mind to the history of our culture, because you're so scared to trust that person.
Yeah.
So not to trust the person, but you're so scared to open your mind to aliens or propaganda or conspiracies or whatever. You're so scared to have these conversations that you're like, no, I'm on the left.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You got people on the right that are like, I need my guns because what if people try to kill me or like take over the country and we need to revolt? Well, I don't know on camera how that translates, but you know what I mean? And then it's just arguments.
Yeah.
People are standing at different points of this, and people are here, and in
Which
the
makes
middle.
us weaker as a unit.
But that's what I'm saying. For this to be achieved, we would all need to be like Neuralink connected, one singular goal, no perfect transparency, perfect safety, perfect everything.
We're very far away from that.
We're in puberty.
Yeah.
And I'm looking out for myself. Because I don't believe in the system. Because the system is not there for me.
No.
I mean, there are homeless people like living the worst existence
Yeah.
while Bentleys drive past them on the street.
Yeah.
And the government says we have no money. And then Ukraine breaks out. They send $100 billion to Ukraine. It's like, well, where did you get the money from? You said that you didn't have money.
Yeah, exactly.
Just that one point. I don't need any other points. I'm like, oh, so there you go. Also, if there was like a website, right? Because we all use websites every day. Imagine if there was just a website, public spending. You could see exactly where your tax dollars get spent.
Yeah, we talked about this, yeah.
It's called transparency. And everybody would love it. And any amateur accountant, it would take a lot of time, but any amateur accountant could add up the numbers and be like, oh, cool. So they're being legit. Cool, great.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how much they got. This is what they spent it on. Here's the transaction history. Here's the proof. Here's whatever. Great. But they don't do that. There's no it would be so easy to set something like that up. I can imagine, like, you got
it's
fucking
also so
spaceships
wild
now.
if you think about it. Like, if you've got a huge population and you're getting 21% of everybody's income.
Yeah.
That's such a large amount.
But you're getting
money.
income. You're getting so many different types of tax, man.
Do you know how much money that is?
It's trillions. It's trillions.
21% is a big number.
Yeah, but if you win the lottery, they take money. If your family member dies, they take money. If you inherit something, they take money. If you earn something, they take money. If you sell something, they take money. If you buy something, they take money. It's all the money. And the thing is, like, if they had an open online system where you could just track what's happening, and then you expanded that and you gave it a voting right, I vote that my money gets sent to fucking Uganda because of that cause. I would like to cast a vote.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be so much easier for us to like collect, but they don't. You know why they don't? Because if they don't show you what's going on, they're like, just I got it. I got it. We're handling it. Then it's easy to just, I'm going to take a fucking 100 million here. I'm going to take 100 million here. Hey, Jeff, thanks for the fucking referral. There's 100 million there. It's so much easier to do that, man. You know why I know that? Africa, Serbia. It's called corruption. That's why you send $100 billion to the Ukraine and almost all of it gets stolen by corrupt politicians.
Yeah.
There's no transparency. And that's what I'm saying is like, you know, you should be commended. Liberals and Democrats should be commended for their desire.
Yeah.
That you also have to understand you're living in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
That's not where we're at.
No.
And that's where we should be, but it's not where we're at. We're closer to this side.
Yeah.
Realistically, as a country, as a world, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Right? We're not going to get here.
No.
Anytime soon.
No.
No people alive today are going to see this point.
No.
We can try to get there, but as long as there's homeless people with Bentleys driving past them,
no.
That's a solid indicator that we're not there.
There's like so much division.
Jeffrey Epstein's, Bill Gates, fake vaccines.
Just everything.
Like,
all the transgender.
we're not there yet, guys. So, all I'm saying, I want to identify as a man. I want to lift heavy weights. I want to buy guns. I want to protect my family. And I want to give good dick. You want to be a woman.
I want to be a homemaker. I also want to lift weights. I also want to create my own business, but also be taken care of. And I'd like to receive good dick.
So, to the woke liberals in the world, can you please, we will allow you to do you. I do not give a flying fuck. Just let us do us.
Yeah.
And when you have a conversation with me, be kind, cordial, shake my hand, smile, be a fucking nice human being and a nice citizen. And if we ever have a political discussion or a gender discussion, don't scream at me the second I open my mouth. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Go away.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
If you want to be my friend and you disagree with me, great. Fucking great.
Yeah.
If I like you, then I'll be your friend.
Yeah.
Just do that. That's the best thing we can do to start moving forward.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, once we get here, I'll give it all up. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give it up. If we all know for sure, I'll give up the guns, I'll give up the fucking whatever, I'll give it all up, because then that's what we need.
Yeah.
That's where we're going.
Yeah.
But right now, if World War III does pop off and they stop the electricity, they stop the food deliveries, they stop the stuff, like, I want to live.
Exactly.
And I don't want to just survive. I want to live.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining
All
us.
right. Ew, why did I spit on that?
Did you hear?